Welcome to this lecture session on error probability of BPSK signal. I am Professor Shiva Panchakshari. So, in this session, we will try to derive an equation for the error probability of BPSK signal. Before we take up the derivation part, let us run through few basic concepts which are required to understand the probability of error. Okay. So if you look into the signal constellation of the BPSK signal, we can say that BPSK is one-dimensional modulation technique having only one carrier signal of frequency FC. And we know the properties of the basis functions, they are orthogonal in nature. And the transmitted BPSK signal consists of two parts. One is root EB into phi1 of t for symbol 1. Another one is minus root EB into phi1 of t for symbol 0. So phi1 of t is common signal. This is a one carrier. So the system is one dimensional. Only amplitude changes from positive to negative. So you have to concentrate more on the polarity of the amplitude to find out what was the symbol transmitted. So accordingly, the basis function is sinusoidal signal of frequency FC. So we can look into either the polarity of the amplitude of the carrier signal to identify the symbols, or you can look into the phase value 0 and 180 degree. So it depends on the kind of device you use for. Right. If you look in here, the signal components of both the symbols. For symbol 1, the signal component is root EB. For symbol 0, it is minus root EB. According to that, signal vector is given here, a column vector containing the values root EB and minus root EB. The signal space diagram is also shown here with one axis of phi1, having 2 points represented to two message symbols. The amplitudes are root EB and minus root EB. Quickly looking into generation, binary sequence converted to two different amplitudes of plus and minus and multiplied to get the binary signal. So come to the receiver. The coherent detection is adapted here. Received signal is multiplied with the basis function and integrated to get a value x1. So the combination of multiplication and integration, that is product integrator, is called correlator. This correlates the received signal x of t with phi1 of t. Accordingly, x1 is produced. If x1 is positive, it is symbol 1, negative, it is symbol 0. So why threshold is 0? Because the signal space diagram, we identified that positive value of root EB representing bit 1, negative value of root EB representing bit 0. So we take the mid value of these 2 points, that is 0, as a threshold. So when the received signal component x1 lies on the positive axis of x1, then it is symbol 1 that was sent, otherwise it is symbol 0. Now come to error probability. Okay. Errors are inevitable in communication. The receiver makes errors in detection of the information due to the presence of noise. The noise is already in the channel. The effect of noise makes the receiver to do some wrong decisions. Right. So to avoid the wrong decisions, what you have to do? So what are the possibilities of error? What are the probability of occurrence of errors? Will be seen here. Okay. Let us look into this part. The receiver, as I already explained, is having these relations. X of t is equal to Si of t plus W of t. Si of t is the transmitted signal. I can be 1 or 2. If I is 1, symbol 1 sent. I is 2, symbol 0 is sent, right? The transmitted signal comes with an added noise. This noise is called additive white Gaussian noise. That's why it is added, right? And the white noise. It's called white noise because it occupies complete spectrum of the channel. Okay, so whatever the frequencies used for transmission through the channel, the white noise is present at all the frequencies. Okay, so it is Gaussian noise with zero mean. Mean means expectation. This noise is not at all expected at the receiver. That's why the expectation is taken as 0. Mean is 0. Variance is n by 2. Right. Whenever I say coherent direction, the phi1 of t, the basis function generated at the receiver, that is locally generated signal, should be in phase coherence or in phase synchronization with the transmitter. So the basis function used as the transmitter, the basis function generated the receiver, both should be in phase synchronization, right? So this correlator operation is expressed as an equation here. So x of t is multiplied with phi1 of t and integrated to get x1. This x1 has two components, signal component and noise component, si1 plus w1. This subscript 1 come from this phi1. Yeah. So now the signal space is divided into two equal regions, right? The region 1 is taken around message point S11, and the region 2 is taken around another message point S21, right? And the discrimination is made through this decision boundary taken at 0. Okay. So region Z1 is the set of points closest to the message point 1 at root EB. Region 2 is the set of points closest to the message point 1 at minus root EB. Accordingly, two possible wrong decisions are there. So the decision may be erroneous if the signal transmitted is S1, signal transmitted is S1, which is corresponding to message point 1, but the received signal component X1 falls in region Z2. Okay, so the transmitted signal component falls in region Z1, but the received signal component falls in region Z2. That time we make error because X1 is falling in Z2. Definitely we decide in favor of message point 2, but actually the transmitted message point corresponds to this one. This is an erroneous decision. The other way is also true. If message point 2 is transmitted, received signal component falls in this region Z1, that time we make a wrong decision or error decision. So now we shall find error probability. Okay, that is PE, the probability of error. Yeah, the probability of error is generally calculated by integrating probability density function, that is fx of x, right? The capital X1 says that the received signal is random variable. Small x1 is the sample value of this capital X1, right? /0 indicates conditional probability. That is, we have assumed ourselves that symbol 0 is sent. Symbol 0 is sent and its probability density function is given by this one. After integrating this one from 0 to infinity, we'll get probability of. Why 0 to infinity? Because decision boundary is at 0. So from that 0, we go to one complete region. There are two regions in the signal space. One region is erroneous region. So we have to integrate from 0 to infinity. Right. So to get this idea of limits, you go back to the signal space diagram. So in the previous slide what I showed, I assumed that symbol 0 was sent. So symbol 0 corresponding to this point. So then this region is erroneous. So this region starts from 0, extends up to infinity. That's why the limit is 0 to infinity. But the variable x1 is a Gaussian random variable because x1 contains Gaussian noise. That's why the variable is also Gaussian random variable. Hence, probability density function is taken as a Gaussian distributed PDF. So the right side of this equation is probability density function of a Gaussian random variable. That's why fx of x is explained with this equation where mu x1 is the mean of x1, sigma x1 square is the variance of random variable x1. So we shall find the mean. Mean is nothing but expectation. Mean of x1 means expectation of x1. x1 contains two parts, signal part and noise part. So expectation of signal part, that is signal part itself, because expectation means you have transmitted Si1. What you're expecting? Definitely Si1 only. Okay, since you have transmitted Si1, the expectation is also Si1. Si1 is a constant, so its expectation remains same. Expectation of noise is 0 because noise is not at all expected in the receiver. So expectation of noise is 0. Expectation of signal is Si1. Similarly, when it goes to variance, variance of x1 is nothing but variance of Si1 plus variance of noise. Si1 is a constant value, root EB. It never varies. So that's why variance of Si1 is 0. But noise is random. It keeps on varying. That's why variance of white noise to be considered. So it is given in the literature that variance of white noise is n0 by 2. Here we found mu, that is a mean value, and variance. So these two values are substituted back into this equation of PDF to find the probability density function. Now I have done the same thing here. Mu value is substituted as Si1 and sigma square variance is substituted as n0 by 2. 2 to cancel, we got n0 here. Here also same thing. Now it is assumed that symbol 0 is sent. Since symbol 0 is sent, the signal component is minus root EB. If symbol was 1, that time should have been plus root EB. Now it is symbol 0, that's why it is minus root EB. So in place of Si1, minus root EB substituted, minus into minus plus it becomes. So this is the final equation of probability density function, which should be integrated. See, this is integrated from 0 to infinity to get the probability of error. So this equation is brought over here. The first part is constant kept outside the integration, and exponential function has to be integrated now. To integrate this exponential function, I make use of the standard integrals available in the literature. So one of the important standard integral which is having close relation with this integral of PE is Q function. So Q function is defined as 1 by root 2 pi integral of exponential of a negative square value. Okay, Z is a temporary variable, dummy variable. So minus Z square by 2 has to be integrated upon taken as an exponent. So one very important point is lower limit x, and it is denoted as Q of x. That means the total integral value depends on the lower limit. Okay, if you compare this integral with this integral, both resemble same. Okay, here this constant term has to be modified little, the exponential same, and these two must be equated, and this lower limit of 0 should be converted to x to make use of this Q of x. So first step, what I suggest is equate Z square by 2 to this equation. Right. So after equating these two, you will get a relation between x1 and z. After getting the relation between x1 and z, you differentiate them to get an equation for dx1, so that you can replace dx1 by dz. Afterwards, change the limits so that this equation completely get converted to this form, so that I can write Q of x in this place. So my next slide will show those values. Look at here. I've equated z square by 2 with respect to x1 plus root EB whole square by n hat. Okay. After equating these two and simplifying, we are going to get x1 plus root EB is equal to z into root of n hat by 2. Okay. So we have a relation between x1 and z. So next, I want to differentiate this. Then upon differentiation, we get dx1 from x1, dz from z, and root EB constant. And this is a multiplying factor remains same. Now apply the limit. When x equal to 0 and x equal to infinity. When x equal to 0, put 0 here. Then z equal to root EB by n naught with the 2 multiplication, this one. When x1 is infinity, z is also infinity. So these changes are made according to the mathematics. So these changes are brought into this integration, right? So completely changes. Root n naught cancels here. So then we come to this equation. This equation exactly looks like our Q function definition. 1 by root of 2 pi. Same thing. In place of x lower limit, it is this different term. Infinity is there and this is same. So this right hand side of this equation completely is similar to the definition of the Q function. So that's why in place of x, we have the term root of 2 EB by n naught that is written here. So the probability of error of BPSK signal is given by Q function of this term. So the value of this Q function can be found from the table available in the literature. If you refer to any of the digital communication book, or if you Google it, you will get Q function table. From the table, you can find this integral value. So for that, you should know EB by n naught. If you substitute EB and n naught values here, you will get the some value. This value should be taken as x. Then Q of x can be found from the table. But we also express the probability of error in terms of another standard integral that is called complementary error function, ERFC of x, complementary error function. This complementary error function is related to Q function in this way. So Q of x is equal to half of ERFC of x by root 2. Okay. So if you want, you can convert your probability of equation into error from complementary error function also, because it depends on the table available to you to find the value of probability of error. Okay. So according to that equation, we end up with another result. So probability of error here is given by complementary error function. This is given by Q function. So both will give the same answer. So depending upon U1 availability of the table, we can use the equations, right? So in the literature, for this error probability, one more word is used, BER, bit error performance. Okay. So instead of calling it probability of error, we also call it bit error, right? BER is standard for. So BER and error probability remain same. Okay. So BER, nothing but bit error, is defined as number of error bits divided by number of transmitted bits. That means out of given transmitted bits, how many bits are erroneous? Suppose if 10 power 6 number of bits are transmitted, out of which 1 bit is erroneous, then BR value is 1 divided by 10 power 6. So that it is 10 power minus 6. So this is how to find BR, nothing but probability of error. So both are the same. So with this, we end our discussion. That BR information is also given in this slide. So BR is the performance parameter of digital modulation scheme. It is defined as number of error bits per number of transmitted bits. So accordingly, these equations. The same results what we obtained in the previous slide are reproduced here for BR. So let us end the session. Thank you.